A normal morning. Kids laughing, backpacks on, and they're off to school. Parents trusting that once their child steps onto that school bus, they're safe. But what happens when the person behind the wheel isn't fully alert? One moment of distraction, one night of poor decisions, 1 second of delay can change everything. This video is for awareness and educational purposes only. The situations discussed reflect real risks that can have serious consequences. Viewer discretion is advised. The goal is not to judge, but to emphasize responsibility, safety, and the importance of protecting lives. Let's get into it. Driving a school bus is not just another job. It's not just transportation. It's responsibility. Because every single day, lives are placed in the hands of one person behind the wheel, and who relies heavily on that person behind the wheel. You guessed it, children. And those children rely on adults to make the right decisions even when no one is watching. That's why being alert, focused, and fully sober is not optional. It's required. But let's talk about what happens when that responsibility is ignored. We're talking sleep deprivation, which does not always feel dangerous at first. You tell yourself, hey, I'm fine. You think you can push through. You convince yourself it's just a little tiredness. But in reality, fatigue slows reaction time. It affects judgment. It affects awareness. It affects concentration. And it creates moments where your mind drifts without you even realizing it. And when you're driving something as large and powerful as a school bus, a delayed reaction is not small. It's the difference between stopping in time or not. Now think about that. And while we're thinking, think about alcohol. Not drinking during the job, but the night before. Some people assume that once they wake up, they're fine. But that's not always true. Alcohol can still affect coordination, focus, and decision making hours later. Even if you don't even feel drunk, you may not be fully sharp. And behind the wheel of a school bus not fully sharp is a risk. Then there are drugs. Whether it's recreational use, misuse of prescriptions, or anything that alters the mind, the effects of them does not always disappear overnight. They can actually linger. They can affect perception, reaction time, and control. And when your job requires you to be responsible for multiple lives at once, there is no room for impairment. None. Because the truth is, a school bus is not just a vehicle. It's a moving responsibility filled with lives that cannot protect themselves in that moment. And children trust. They trust that the adult in control is making safe choices. They trust that they will get to school and get back home. Parents trust that too. Because in reality, they don't see what happens the night before. They don't see the level of sleep. They don't see what was consumed or how alert the driver feels. They simply trust. And trust like that should never be broken. Because when something goes wrong, there is no rewind. There is no reset button. There is no fix it later. A missed stop sign, a slow reaction, a moment of distraction, a lapse in judgment can turn into something permanent, something that affects families forever. And this is the part that needs to be understood clearly. This is not about fear. This is about reality. Driving requires attention. Driving a school bus requires full awareness. And operating under fatigue, leftover alcohol effects, or drug influence, even if it feels minor, can lead to major consequences, not just for the driver, but for every child on that bus, every family connected to them, every life that could be changed in seconds. And let's also talk about attention, because even without substance or fatigue, distraction alone is dangerous. Looking away for a second, checking something briefly, letting your mind drift. That's all it takes. 1 second. That's how fast situations change on the road. Traffic stops suddenly. A car pulls out unexpectedly. A child crosses the street. A situation develops that requires immediate reaction time. And let's face it, if that bus driver is not fully present, you're already behind. That's why being alert is not just a suggestion, it's protection. Protection for yourself, protection for your children, protection for everyone sharing the road. And that responsibility doesn't start when the bus turns on. It starts the night before. Getting proper rest matters. Avoiding anything that can impair your mind matters. Making decisions that support safety and not risk matters. Preparation matters. Discipline matters. This is one of those roads where almost okay is not okay. You have to be fully there, physically, mentally, emotionally, because the stakes are too high. Lives matter. Every child matters. Every decision matters. And once something is lost, it cannot be undone. So before getting behind the wheel of a school bus, ask yourself, am I truly ready to carry this responsibility today? Not just being able to drive, but ready to drive. Being alert, focused, clear-minded, fully present, because the role you carry is bigger than a job. It's trust, it's protection, it's lives in motion. And when it comes to that, there is no room for shortcuts, no room for compromise, and no second chances. If you like deep conversations like this, then grab your Spilling the Juice book series at spillingthejuice.com. Also available on all major book platforms. STJ Archives, signing off.